The myths and legends from the land of the rising sun are vast and can be even scarier than the stories from the rest of the world. The most famous legend is possibly the Yuki-onna, or Snow Woman. It is mentioned in various Japanese legends. The locals speak of a beautiful, yet ruthless woman that appears every time someone is at the mercy of the harsh weather of a snowy night. A yokai is a spirit that appears in cold weather, especially during snowstorms and blizzards. An evil entity that, should you be unfortunate enough to encounter it while walking in Japanese snowy places, will kill you, leaving only a blue and frozen corpse to be found. This female spirit is described as a tall, beautiful woman with long black hair that perfectly contrasts with her pale skin, which makes her fuse with the white environments she usually wanders. In mythology, she is known as the spirit of blizzards, since it is believed she owns this element and only appears in such weather to show her power and control over coldness. Her waist-long black hair and remarkable facial features are very proper of a female yokai. Her pale skin is almost translucid, blending with the snowy landscapes. Her looks, although stunning, are not entirely human, since it's noticeable that, when you look at her closely, she is a supernatural creature. She manifests herself wearing a long white kimono. Adorned with silver colors, characteristic of an ice yokai. For she's the mistress of winter and the mountains. Despite this general description, it is said that sometimes she shows herself naked, sitting in the snow, attracting many men with her charm and supernatural beauty. Adding up to this, her eyes are her most dangerous weapon, capable of infusing fear to those who make eye contact with her, freezing their soul. Yuki-onna, just as many yokais, doesn't have feet. She floats around the snow, leaving no trace. This is a common characteristic of Japanese ghosts and spirits. Given that her powers and skills vary from story to story, it is believed that she can kill in several ways. Sometimes she'll be satisfied with only making her victims get lost in a mountain in the middle of a blizzard, dooming them to a slow death from cold exposure. She may use her deadly icy breath to feed on her victims' vital energy, and taking their bodies to the absolute zero temperature, freezing them to death. Some say she lures her victims to freezing moors where they die of hypothermia. Yuki-onna will later eat their bodies, leaving behind only the material possessions. Some stories give her a more vampiric take, for she'd suck the blood of her victims or their life force. Occasionally, she'd adopt the form of a succubus, hunting men of weak beliefs who dare challenge her, draining and freezing them through sexual copulation or a kiss. She can also manifest holding a baby, pampering it affectionately and motherly. When a well-meaning person tries to take the baby, they freeze to death with the baby in their arms. Parents searching for their missing children are particularly vulnerable to this tactic. The houses in the cold mountains aren't safe either. There are stories of Yuki-onna invading homes, blowing doors open and killing everyone in their sleep. However, legend goes, as it usually happens with supernatural entities, that she needs to be invited in for this to happen. She can also use mist as a defense mechanism when she feels threatened by humans. Despite all this, as she represents snow, Yuki-onna can also show a softer side. In very rare cases, she'd forgive her victims and let them escape. The most popular legend that addresses this particular behavior: she lets a man go because of his age and beauty, not without making him promise not to ever mention her to anyone. Many years later, already married and a father, he tells his wife of how this spirit spared his life. In that moment, the wife reveals herself in a terrifying way, with a diabolic smile on her face and the cold spirit, enraged and producing blizzards all over the room. Her now husband is terrified and understands the mistake he has made. However, she spares his life again, only promising that, would he dare mistreat their children, she'd murder him mercilessly. There are countless legends of a woman who died in the snow, whose spirit roams the mountains, searching for her body and those who caused her death. Her ghostly shape is well known in the Japanese culture, describing her as beautiful, ordinary woman. This yokai undoubtedly has a regal and calm attitude, but will turn as cold as the elements under her domain when it's time to murder the people who cross her path. Yuki-onna has been and will be considered the evil incarnate of Japanese folklore.